Hi, thanks for watching. Today's video features the January 2024 Spellbinders Betterpress of the Month Club press plate. I'm going to create 3 cards today using this press plate. The name of this plate is called Poppy Greetings. It includes a large poppy floral image as well as 2 sentiments, thank you and best wishes. If you're not familiar with the system, I hope that this video will show you more about how it works and how easy it is and how beautiful the cards are. Off to the left, you'll see I have taped a piece of sticky grid sheet paper on my platen. There are actually some words stamped on it because I was letterpressing earlier and I accidentally stamped it onto my sticky grid paper. Those do not come with the letterpress system, but the tape does. You get a little bit of this best ever craft tape from Spellbinders, which I use to help hold my grid paper. To start, I put the press plate on top of the magnetic insert that sits on top of the chase, and I'm using strawberry ink, which is Betterpress ink from Spellbinders. To the left, you'll see the clear top plate, which is magnetic, and it has registration marks to help you line things up. And my paper that I'm actually using to press with is Betterpress cotton card panel. I run this through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine and then I remove it. You can see the results. This is a deeply etched image that I will watercolor a little later in the video. Now I'm going to remove my cardstock and get a new piece to put on this sticky grid sheet. The sticky grid sheet, if you don't have it, you can just use tape. I'm going to take some stamp cleaner, spray it on my microfiber towel, and just wipe that ink right off of that plate. The next color I'm using is Betterpress black ink. This is going to make a very bold impression. The Spellbinders Betterpress ink are acid-free, they're permanent, and they're waterproof. And now I'm going to take the sentiment thank you and also ink that up with Betterpress ink. Now I'm lining up the acrylic platen, which is the clear top plate. It is magnetized. You run it through your Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine. Be careful when you run it through your Platinum 6. Don't press down on the platen. Let the machine do all the work. When you remove it, don't press down on the platen. That could cause blurred, double stamped images. This turned out really nice. I think this is beautiful. I set that panel aside, grabbed my archival inks, and I cleaned the plate and the chase. And I'm using 3 colors of archival inks. I'm using red geranium, tea rose, and orange blossom. I think the archival inks make it look a little bit more distressed looking. They're not as crisp, I think, as the letterpress inks, Betterpress inks. All right, let's run this through and you tell me what you think. I did 3 different colors to try to create an ombre look, and you could ink this in any color that you prefer. But I do like this archival ink. You can see the difference when I hold these all together side by side. I have to tell you, if you're on the fence about getting a Betterpress system, I would say do it. I received mine as a gift from my husband and my son for Christmas, and I love it. It is so quick and easy. No stamps involved and easy cleanup. Speaking of cleanup, you can take your microfiber towel, you can clean your press plate while it's on the chase, which involves scrubbing, but it risks you accidentally shifting that plate and scratching your magnetic insert. So here's a trick I want to show you. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you look, I have something in my hand. It's a magnetic flashlight. It's magnetic on both ends. I can use it to lift that press plate up off the magnetic insert. Then I take the press plate and put it onto my magnetic glass board, and it's easier for me to clean that way without scratching my magnetic insert. That was easy. I just want to keep my magnetic insert looking as nice and crisp as long as possible. And it's better to clean the plates off of the press than to do it on top, because you do risk scratching off those registration marks. And again, I'm using a Glassboard Studio magnetic glass mat. Everything cleans up so easily. I think it's easier in a way than cleaning up stamps. So yeah, I'm definitely liking the Betterpress system. And I am super excited to be a social media influencer for Spellbinders, to be able to present to you this product every month through the Betterpress of the Month Club. Now this is a different press plate and die set. This one is called Always and Forever. It has one press plate and one cutting die. The press plate I will put on the magnetic area, lining that up using the grid marks. Some of the sentiments include: from all of us, happy birthday, welcome little one, feel better soon. I'm using archival ink in red geranium to ink up this press plate. Again, here are some more of the sentiments from this set. You brighten my day. Thanks a million. Happy anniversary. So proud of you. You're my everything. Handmade for you. Sending you strength. Forever grateful. You're in my thoughts. Hello, sweet friend. Always and forever. And congratulations. Some great everyday sentiments, and they're the right size. With a image like this, I don't want a huge gigantic sentiment. The sentiments that came with the Poppy Greetings Betterpress plate are very nice. Those sentiments again are thank you and best wishes. I wanted one that said happy birthday and always and forever, because I'm going to be giving one to a birthday, for a birthday, and one for an anniversary. So I ran this through my Platinum 6, and this is what it looks like. Isn't that awesome? You get all those sentiments all in one shot. And then all you have to do is take the die that comes with it, line the die up, and then run that through your Platinum 6 machine. And the result are all these wonderful sentiments all at one time. It couldn't get any easier. Actually, the other day, I was using this plate to create a batch of these sentiments. You can see I made a whole bunch, and I used a whole bunch of different ink colors. And so I'm just going to add these into my little stash pile to be used on future card projects. Okay, now let's go ahead and get to coloring our beautiful poppy image. I'm going to use Careen markers and a water brush pen to color in these poppies. I'm using various colors of red and orange inks from my Careen marker set. And I am not going to show the entirety of me doing this watercoloring because truly I am not an expert. When it comes to watercoloring, I feel like this image is beautiful enough that even somebody who has minimal skills such as I can create a very beautiful end project. So use whatever watercolors that you have. And my only advice is, make sure that your paper is a cotton blend paper. If you use a paper that's too thin, it will, pill or tear, but you don't want it to be too thick. What I'm doing is, because I am using my glass board, I can scribble a little bit of that Careen marker, which is again a watercolor marker, down on my glass board, take a little bit of water with my water brush and just color in this beautiful image. And I'm not that familiar with the poppy flower. I do know what they look like and everything like that, but it's not something that we see too often where I live. But I think that they're a reddish orange. So I'm trying to add a little bit of orange to this last flower so that they're not all completely, red or pink. I am going to mention that if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're learning some tips about using the Betterpress system. And I'd love it if you would subscribe to get notified of when I have future videos available. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have learned anything, or like my content, or like my end result cards. At the end of this video, I will have some still photos of my completed card projects. I finished coloring in my flowers, and I'm going to color in some of the background. I'm using a teal Carine marker and a lot of water so that it's a light color. I don't want it to be too overpowering. And I'm just trying to color in the areas in the background. For the sake of time, I jumped forward to the completed background. I'm going to show it to you. Again, it's just a real watercolory style background. Now, if you don't have Carine markers, you might have color bursts. So for the image, the panel that I stamped with the archival ink, I'm going to just take some color bursts, red and orange, and I'm using just a paintbrush that I have from my stash and some water, and I am painting, or watercolor painting, with this color burst. So this is another way that you can paint your or color your letterpress panels. Actually, this one turned out really nice. I do like how it looks. At the end, I actually have some still photos so that you can get a better idea of how these came together. All right, again, I am not an expert watercolorist. I'm just taking some and coloring it in, and really, I wish that I was better at this, but practice is all we can do to improve our skills. Try not to be too hard on yourselves, because anybody who would receive a card from you would be lucky to receive it, and would probably find that anything that you see as an imperfection is not noticeable to them. So I'm trying to practice my own what I'm preaching here. So I know we can all do better with that. All right, jumping forward to my finished panel. I'll hold it up so you can see it in a more close-up fashion. These color bursts are definitely more of a bold effect. Then I had this color burst watercolor left over, so I thought what I would do is do some splatters using that color burst watercolor. So I just took my paintbrush and added water to the color burst to make it nice and watery. And then I'm just adding these red splatters. And this is card panel number 2. While I had the red out and I was doing some splattering, I thought I would take the panel that I letterpressed with the black ink and just add red splatters. So this basically is a non-coloring version, but you could use any kind of ink to make splatters. You can use color bursts like I did. You could use distress oxides, distress inks, any kind of dye ink that you have. Just squish a little bit on your glass mat, add some water, get that paintbrush nice and wet, and just splash away. I just like the look of this. It's clean and simple, but gives you the idea, with the red being the color of the poppies. Just a quick and easy way if you don't have time to color, just to make a very classy looking card. That is panel number 3. I'm going to use Spellbinders Card Shop Essentials pop-up cutting glitter foam sheets in the color red for a matte layer on 2 of my cards. So I'm going to grab some of my Spellbinders dies and cut out some shapes with this foam glitter sheet. What I like about these are that the glitter does not shed, and it's nice and smooth, and it cuts like a dream. I'm using the postage edge rectangle dies, and I'm using my full-size platinum machine, and I'm going to go ahead and cut all in one pass these matte layers. That's what's nice about the full size. You have an 8.5 by 11 area that you can die cut. So I have 2 frames here with this red glitter foam, and one has a postage edge, one has a regular edge. Now I'm going to use the Spellbinders embossing folder of the month for January 2024. I'm going to run that through my Spellbinders Platinum machine. This embossing folder is called Branching Out, and it creates a A2 slimline 5x7 card, and the folder is 5.5 by 8.5. So let's hold that up so you can see the beautiful foliage. This is going to be a very universal pattern for our cards that we create. I think that I'll get a lot of mileage out of this folder. I'm going to use black cardstock. I'm going to spritz the cardstock with some water. This helps to keep the paper from tearing, keeps it malleable as it goes through the platinum machine. And you can see how beautiful that is. I do really like this embossing folder. Let's move on to assembling the cards. I did use that embossing folder to emboss a piece of pink cardstock that I had in my stash. I am going to be using some recycled materials to create some dimension on the back of my panel here. And I have my glue syringe, which is a new system to me, but it does help with arthritis. And I'm going to put an acrylic stamp block on top of this to help it to adhere, help the glue and the paper to stick to that embossed folder. I'm going to use some Spellbinders black gems to just add a few areas of interest just to help this card pop a little bit more, which I think it's fine the way it is. If you don't have gems, you don't have to use gems. And I'm using the sentiment, Happy Birthday. And that sentiment comes from the Always and Forever Betterpress and die. And again, stay tuned to the end of the video to see this completed card. My second card has the Color Burst colored image. I'm gluing that pop-up glitter foam to my card base, which is an A2 black card base. I'm using my Score Buddy just to help me line things up so I don't get crooked. And I have some die cut shapes that fit and nest inside of the hollowed out area. The reason why I hollowed it out is so that I can use that glitter card foam for another project, but I'm filling it in with this regular scrap paper so that my beautiful panel doesn't sag in the middle. Okay, as I said, I will have the finished card in a photo at the end of this video, so please watch till the end to see a still photo of my final project with card number 2. Now for card number 3, I'm creating a 5x7 card, and I do have that glitter pop-up foam using those postage edge rectangle dies. I have the 5x7 card base, and I have the black embossed paper using that embossing folder of the month, Branching Out. So I use that paper as a matte layer for behind the glitter foam layer. And as promised, I will have a still photo at the end of this video showing you how I completed this card. I'll give you a few hints. It didn't take much. I just added a few of these black gems. I'll have all the products that I use listed below in my description box. If you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified of when I have future videos. Please everybody give this video a thumbs up. Here comes the still photos of my finished card projects. I hope you enjoy this. If you don't have the letterpress system, I would highly encourage you to consider it. It's a lot of fun to play with. And the results are so beautiful, unlike anything that a regular stamp could do, in my opinion, because you get that letterpress look. Thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.